the weird things that some so-called feminists talk about. Double down on this statement about the Wonder Woman Amazonians and the Justice League Amazonians that you see in front of you here. These are behind the scenes footage, selective footage by these detractors of Justice League, so-called feminists that say, look at a man's perspective and Michael Wilkinson's costume design of these Amazons for Justice League versus Linda Hemming's design for Wonder Woman. How, the chauvinistic male wants women to always be eye candy and for the male gaze. Gotta admit though, the hair of the woman is just kind of not well done. Not as good as in Wonder Woman at least. But having said that, I'm going to double down on this. And why I'm going to double down on this is because I find that these so-called feminists who are not feminists at all, they focus on things which are not meaningful versus speaking about maybe Joss Whedon's disrespect of Wonder Woman almost in the movie. Allegedly, Flash falls headlong into her chest. And then when he comes out of her chest, he talks of something very frat boyish and snarky and disrespectful to Wonder Woman. And I think that should be more a focus of anything that Grace Randall brings up, actually, than anything else. Now, Samantha Joe, who is this woman here, who's a stunt woman and an actress, she actually made a reply to these women, but we're going to go deeper than that. And I'm going to show you some stuff. Because I don't like the hypocrisy of Hollywood and the way how they speak about certain directors, because they want to show that Zack Snyder's a chauvinist and, he disrespects women, and said that about Sucker Punch as well, which I found was really stupid. But nonetheless, I wanted to show you something here. All right? So let's begin with Justice League. They say, the Amazons from Justice League, they are a male, Google-eyed stuff. It's male ogling. Well, this is Hippolyta from Justice League. This is from the Justice League, obviously, movie trailer. And that's Hippolyta there. And behind Hippolyta are the other Amazons. See an Amazon here. And you will notice, first of all, they're dressed in almost Roman-looking armory. All right? Now, I'm not too sure what time this is. But the important thing is, you see that the Amazons from Justice League are not necessarily dressed as how they're depicted in this picture here. Alright? At least not there. And if you look at Hippolyta here, which is from Wonder Woman, you will find that the design is very, very similar, almost identical. Except, of course, Hippolyta is wearing now this headpiece here, which allows her hair to come down like that. That's her hair on top. Okay? But her dress is absolutely similar to her dress here. Okay. That's one. Two. They say that the actor Bruce Entz here is from Wonder Woman. She's dressed in this regalia. But when we see her in Justice League, here she's dressed down as if she's somehow some oogled sexy model or something. And here she's dressed as a sexy model as well. She's carrying a hammer, kind of like Thor here. And she looks like a beast. She really looks strapped and strong right there, I gotta say. Alright? So here she is from Wonder Woman. And here she is with this outfit. Wonder Woman with this outfit. And then here she is in Justice League again here. And here she is from Wonder Woman. Okay? Just zoom her up here a little bit. Alright? Good. Alright. Now to this, I would like to speak on it because I'm tired of this nonsense. First of all, if you look at Justice League, here is Justice League right here, and you see Hippolyta leaping into the air off of a horse, you will look at the Amazons, note the Amazons, they're not as heavily armored up as, say, later on. This is, of course, their first meeting with Darkseid's forces, where they join with mankind and the Atlanteans and others to fight off Darkseid's forces. And we see this here also with Zack Snyder here directing here. You see one of the Asian people from mankind. Then we see also the Atlanteans here. They're heavily armored up. But then we have the Amazonians, who are not as heavily armored up. Okay, they kind of have this kind of leathery thing here going on. Now this is way before Wonder Woman comes into existence. All right. So what you would notice is that the Amazons are not as heavily armored up, and the reason is because, if you know anything about history of fighting, different warriors would wear different battle gear for their different needs. The Amazons came in quickly, according to Patty Jenkins. They didn't make any. They were ambush fighters. They came in swiftly and quickly, and you have to sacrifice speed for armament. And in this case, the Amazons, they wanted to move in quick, and so because they want to move fast and quick and use their weapons, they would be less armored up. And in the early times, you can see the Amazons, and I'm going to show you the early Amazons here. This is from Wonder Woman, some of the art from Wonder Woman. You see the Amazons here, sometimes even in civilian dress. They're hardly dressed up. Some of them were naked. And they fought wars that way. Here they're fighting alongside mankind. Some of them have shields and they're armored up somewhat. And some of them are not. So you see their navels out and all of that kind of stuff is going on, right? And the point being, in early times when the Amazons were with mankind, they hadn't separated to Themyscira as yet. They were fighting alongside mankind, and here we see that they were fighting now, according to Justice League. One of the things they were doing in the background from Wonder Woman was they were fighting the great forces of Darkseid. And this is madness, seeing these Amazons coming towards that. That's madness. That's certain death for most people. And they're charging headlong into that shit. So they can really fight, okay? But it seems as though through time, they armored up some, so that they were actually more armored up later on. And you can see them here. This is Hippolyta, and this is her guards here, the Queen's guards. You see they're more like Roman soldiers here, like you see the Roman soldiers here. Let me just zoom into this guy here. You see he's armored up a lot more, and a Roman soldier here, armored up a lot more, and some here. But you have also those who are other soldiers here. You see this guy carrying a sword, and he is not armored up. So you have different variations of armament. You understand? Even with the Romans. Similarly, for the Amazons, you can see some of them are armored up. But again, not a whole bunch of armor. They're not heavily armored up because they need to move fast. The thing about the historical Amazons that I studied was that they worked for speed. It was about being swift. It was guerrilla warfare, attacking you when you least expect it, coming in fast. They used weapons that could attack from long range, so there was a lot of archers out there to take out their opponent. They want to weaken their opponent as much as possible, surprise them as much as possible, attack them when they don't expect to be attacked as much as possible. So they were highly skilled fighters. They were not based on just pure raw strength, because in that case they would be overpowered. They were working more out of speed, efficiency, technique. Okay? So those were the things. They also cooperate with one another and work as a team very much more to be able to have a better maximize, optimize advantage against their opponents. So that's what the Amazons are. And you can see here, this is Hippolyta with the Amazons at least around Wonder Woman's time. And if you look at Justice League, that's exactly what you see. This is an Amazon almost identically armored up like the Justice League Amazons. And my point being this, that how is it that Zack Snyder shooting Justice League simultaneously along with Wonder Woman, how is Zack Snyder able to do that and have more or less the similar costuming and uniforms? Let's see, this is the costuming and uniform here from Wonder Woman here and here, right? And if you look at Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman here, again, it's very similar. Why Zack Snyder is able to do that? It's because his vision and Patty Jenkins' vision are very similar. This is, again, the Amazons from Justice League, not Wonder Woman. And they are dressed pretty much like what you saw in Wonder Woman, right? So how is that possible that Zack Snyder could come up with costuming that's very similar to Wonder Woman? And by the way, in Wonder Woman, here are some behind-the-scenes footage of some of the Amazons when they are moving around as soldiers still in Themyscira. And you can see their navels and stuff are out, right? That's not a big deal. I mean, you expect that. And why is that so? Because the Amazons had multiple clothing, right? I already did this in another video. But the point is, how was Zack Snyder and Patty Jenkins able to do roundabout the similar same things? It's because they came together as directors and had someone do concept art for concept art that was based off of Wonder Woman. Because remember, Michael Wilkinson was the first designer of Wonder Woman's costume, and then Linda Hemming took that to form the other Amazonian outfits. But there was always a template there through which all of them, whether it's Michael Wilkinson or Linda Hemming, went back to. And of course, Linda Hemming must have consulted Michael Wilkinson as to how they were going to go about with this. So it is not surprising that this template is known as concept art. So it's really the concept art of Wonder Woman, and also of the movie Wonder Woman that derives off of Wonder Woman, and also the concept art of Justice League, which is the same concept art that was developed way before Justice League was there. As you can see, there was some concept art, if you remember, on the set of Justice League with the Atlantean Mira. There's a concept art sitting down on the side there of Mira and so on. So there's the concept art is what informs the look, and then the costume designer tries to bring that concept art to life. Okay, so that's just a little education for you guys. Here's some more concept art here of the guards guarding the Queen and Amazons as well. And here's some more concept art here of Antiope's outfit. So Zack Snyder and Patty Jenkins had a similar vision for these Amazons and where they develop. And part of Justice League, as Connie Nielsen, Queen Hippolyta, was explaining, was you see more of me in the Justice League is because Zack Snyder has some of the backstory of the Amazons. Before Wonder Woman or Princess Diana was born, there's something about the Amazon. This is the earlier Amazons you're seeing here. Even though they're on the set with the Batmobile, this doesn't mean they're of the era of the Batmobile, because thousands of years after that fact. Okay, so that this great war that we had here, this great war, the Amazons were in the earlier incarnation of themselves. They were now armoring up. And as the story goes in the art for Wonder Woman, they actually get raped and molested and put into slavery by mankind a little later on. And that's what makes them break free, and then they armor up even more. And then they armor up even more when they have to go to Themyscira and retreat there, as Zeus tries to protect them on that island and keep them separate from mankind. So they armor up even more. And they have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years to do that. So I'm just saying that it's an evolution of the characters we're seeing with Zack Snyder, when this dumb feminist woman, and I say she's a dummy because she really is stupid, this dumb feminist or so-called feminist woman, because she's not a feminist, comes and cites this and circulates it all over social media. Oh, look at them here. I look at them here. What are you really saying, dummy? Did you see the movie yet? Do you even understand what Zack Snyder's doing? You know, and it's just, you know, it's sad because Zack Snyder was the guy who wrote the story for Wonder Woman anyway. It's just one of those sad things where you just watch it there and you be like, come on, man. Come on, dude. Come on. But it is what it is. And like I said before, you know, Joss Whedon, you know, he did something in the movie, it seems, which these so-called feminist women should really be outraged about. You know, because Zack Snyder never did that in his movies. And it's really strange how Hollywood has a way of being hypocritical. You know, they frown on things they shouldn't frown on. And then they accept things which are warped and not true. It's just one of those weird things. And Zack Snyder's not one of those Hollywood kind of people. He's really a guy who's bringing a true picture. And finally, we got superhero movies that are actually a true depiction and respect to the hero characters and the essence of what they are, and the deep-rooted essence of what they are. And I appreciated that. Now, I hope Justice League is not like Thor Ragnarok, because if it is, that's it with me and the DCEU, because I know what direction they're going in a superficial, frivolous way, which I am not interested in. Okay? And they can take that and go to hell with it, as far as I'm concerned. But if Justice League turns out to be a movie where, because I hear them saying it's a mess in story, and I'm thinking to myself, that's what they said about BVS. Maybe I will enjoy this movie. Maybe. And I know Joss Whedon, he still worked his butt off on this movie, but I do not know if he didn't compromise some of the values, because when I heard behind the scenes, the people did not want him to do those kinds of jokes and stuff but because in the press releasing and screenings, people laughed at it, it was allowed to go. But that's a no-no. And I think, I'm surprised there's not as much outrage about that is about this really inaccurate account here. Now, if you speak about that, I could understand. But this, no. And I'm not here to see a movie succeed. I don't care. I want all movies to succeed, actually. But I don't really care about Justice League that much to allow that to happen. Okay? If you're really a feminist and you're about equality, you want to see people be treated with respect. Okay? And that's all I got to say about that. Now, one more thing I want to talk about. I heard that Mr. Josh Whedon went up on Twitter, and it's all over the place, and he liked a tweet where it badmouthed the villain very badly and said it was the worst villain of all time, even worse than some villain called, I can't remember the name of the villain. And quite frankly, he liked that tweet. Now, I don't know if Joss Whedon doesn't want to do any more work in the DCEU, or he's trying to crash the DCU. I hope not. I don't think so. I think he was working his ass off, so I hope the movie's good. But I don't understand Joss Whedon, because that's career suicide. That's career suicide. When you got the DCEU base, you don't give them the middle finger like that. That's stupid. So I don't know what's wrong with him. But what I would say is, I didn't like what I heard of Danny Elfman's soundtrack, right? But Danny Elfman was on board, and it seems like he's just literally ripping off stuff from what he originally did with Batman and putting in different things. I don't know what the movie will sound like. I'm going to just go listen to it. I don't care. I just want to see Justice League, right? I'm not like that. But I will say this. Zack Snyder is the reason I came to the DCEU. And if the DC movies and Warner Brothers DC and these execs are trying to course correct and make their films more like Marvel and more kids in the cinema and stuff, and you just keep on shafting directors like how you guys have shafted Zack Snyder, and you guys have shafted Zack Snyder too many times, okay? I'm going to see this film because Zack Snyder directed, not because Joss Whedon did. I couldn't give a damn about Joss Whedon directing a movie, to be honest with you. I am interested in the DCEU because of Zack Snyder. Alright? Like Patty Jenkins. But quite frankly, her Wonder Woman movie does not compare to Batman v Superman. Nor Man of Steel. You know? It comes in third. And probably Justice League will come in either fourth or fifth. It might even come below Suicide Squad. It depends. I don't know what this movie's going to be like. But I'm excited for it. And I'm giving it its due respect and chance. No matter what. Because I know certain people are trying to tear down the movie at this last hour. But I'll tell you this. If Justice League turns out to be a very disappointing movie for me in terms of value, that's the last time you probably see me watching comic book movies. I'm not going to be enthused about anything. Zack Snyder got me interested in Superman, a character I was not interested in for a long time. Okay? Zack Snyder brought the best Batman I've ever seen onto the screen. You know, Zack Snyder brought us Wonder Woman. So I've been excited about the DCEU. Suicide Squad is a forgettable story, just like Thor Ragnarok. But I liked the characters in Suicide Squad. Okay? Having said that, I don't know what's going to happen with Justice League. I don't know. I'm going to go watch it tomorrow, very early tomorrow. But quite frankly, I don't know what's going to happen with Justice League. Alright? On that note, I hope you guys enjoy my videos. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Sound off as much as you want to. But I just wanted to just set the record straight, double down on this, because I find it ridiculous that you got all these so-called feminist people talking about these Amazons. They don't know shit about Amazons, first of all. They don't know the history of the Amazons. They don't know anything about the Amazons. All they know is their nonsensical political rhetoric and bullshit from start to finish. And yes, I will smash and trash these assholes who keep on coming online with stupid things. Okay? Talking stupid stuff because you hate a certain guy and you're trying to dump on him and you're trying to dump on his film. At least come with something of substance. You come with something of substance, I'm going to back you up. But if you come with shit, I'm going to let you know it's shit. Okay? Don't come bullshitting people and playing political games. Hollywood's full of that shit. Alright? And they can kiss my ass. You guys have a great one.